There's been a red card, but no, Chris Kamara.
They can't. Gets a red card. It is a red card. That's not a red card.
And a red is a red card for Zidane.
4 lads, 1 red card.
Hello everyone and Happy New Year to you all. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season with your loved ones. Welcome to 4 Lads, 1 Red Card. This is the 14th edition of your favorite podcast and we have a lot to discuss today again, of course. I'm joined by my 3 usual mates, Jotis, Darren and Alex. Happy New Year, boys. How are you?
Happy New Year.
All good.
Yeah. All good, everyone. Really excited to be here today with you. Just before we begin the podcast, guys, you remember, don't forget to follow us, put a like, comment, share our content on our social media, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and X. And we're going to start right now with our favorite league, the Premier League, obviously. We have a lot to discuss about that championship and to give a quick update on the table after 20 games. Yeah, 20 games. Arsenal is still top of the league, 6 points ahead of Man City and Aston Villa. Liverpool is slowly getting back into the race and is currently fourth in the table ahead of Chelsea and Man United. Those two teams, so Chelsea and Manchester United, started the year in great shape. Unfortunately, not in terms of results, but both teams sacked their coaches at the beginning of the year. Enzo Maresca was dismissed from Chelsea and replaced today by a former Strasbourg coach, Liam Rosenior. I think you all saw that. And also Ruben Amorim in Manchester United was also let go in recent days. We, of course, wanted to talk about these two teams at the same time because beyond having exactly the same number of points in the standings, the situation of the two clubs is quite similar. Darren, I'll begin with you. What do you think of these changes and what future do you see for the two clubs this season?
Well, first of all, I think Chelsea did make a mistake by letting Enzo Maresca go because he took the club from a very bad point, which nobody was expecting any success, and then he made them win 2 major trophies. Of course, he didn't turn Chelsea into, let's say, a Ferrari. I would say Chelsea was still more like a Volkswagen right now, but they were in the right direction to go. By the way, no advertisement. They were in the right direction, I think. But so that's a big mistake in my point of view, and I didn't see it coming. I mean, who would sack their coach right after getting a 1-point draw from Manchester City in Etihad? I didn't expect that. But Manchester United, on the other hand, is a whole different story. We talked a bit in our group chat, but just to let our viewers know also, I don't expect the next manager of Manchester United to be successful as well, and here's why. So, from my point of view, in modern football, in order to be successful, the board first must decide which kind of football philosophy they want to play. What kind of football do they want their team to play? And then after that, you talk with your sportive director, and then you decide which manager best implements that football philosophy. And then you get that manager, you go to a rebuild. The entire team must change. I know it's very expensive, but for a club in the level of Manchester United, that must be something to consider at this point because it's been more than 10 years since they won the Premier League last time. So they should rebuild their entire team, and then based on that, they should give some kind of time, some sort of time to the next coach. But they're not going to do that. I mean, the squad is not going to magically change, and then they don't even know which manager is going to be next right now. I think until the end of the season, they are thinking of an interim manager, maybe.
Yeah, Solskjaer. I heard Solskjaer.
Yeah, I heard his name
Solskjaer,
as well.
yeah.
I heard his name as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I like Solskjaer a lot. He's a great person, and he's a successful coach from my point of view, based on the capabilities that he had. But I don't see him making Manchester United not even a Premier League champion. I mean, I don't even see him making Manchester United play for Champions League. It's sad, but it's true to admit.
Yeah, Jotis, Ruben Amorim's departure seemed unavoidable since lots of weeks, even months now. Who do you see taking over as manager of the Red Devils? Who is able to carry this club and this huge mess around that team right now, in your opinion?
Honestly, I wish I knew the answer because when Eric Ten Hag got sacked, I was one of the people who was the happiest. I was so happy of that Paul fraud getting sacked.
He's the Ronaldo fanboy here.
But but I was thinking like, he's a shit coach, and that's the reason he got sacked. And before that, it was Ole, and Ole had a run of form that was like it was getting to the tipping point because it was going really bad. I was like, okay, makes sense. But Ruben Amorim, for some reason, I was actually expecting Man United to stick with him for quite a while, and this did came as a surprise because I thought he was going to be, it was going to be like Arteta at Arsenal. They're going to trust him. They're going to, keep him for as part of the long term project. But and who is next? I honestly don't know. I don't see anyone new coming in and changing the club radically. I just don't see that happening. I don't know what's wrong, what's going on at the club. Yeah, I don't see anyone coming in and changing it overnight. I don't know how many years or seasons it would take, but yeah, that's a reality.
You know, one rumor that I actually would love to see like become a reality is Xavi to Manchester United.
I
That would
heard
be
that,
so
yeah.
interesting to see. Like, remember when he won the league with Barcelona? They were winning every game 1-0. He can make them more stable defensively, and there, like we would finally be able to see if Tiki Taka can succeed in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like because of the different rhythm and intensity in the football that's played in England. So, in my opinion, I would love to see Xavi at Man United. I don't think United. Maybe United would want Xavi, but I don't think Xavi wants United.
But here's a question, right? We talk about all these coaches and how they would fit in and blah blah blah. But is it actually about the coach? Because if you look at all the coaches that are coming to Man United after Ferguson, there's been 15 coaches, including the interim ones, and none of them made a significant change. So is it really about the coach? Is it really about the manager, or is there something deeply wrong at United? Like, is anyone can change this club unless the club decides to change itself?
Yeah, that I think that's the good question to ask, because you know that the president of Manchester United is also the one in Nice, League One in France. Right now, the situation of Nice is catastrophic. They're losing every game. The support, you remember the incidents that have between the supporters and the players.
It's like their manager, right?
Yeah.
Paul
The
Pierce.
managers, they fought some players that refuse to play for the team right now because they're right to do it. And it's not the same situation in Man United, but it seems like above the manager, ahead of those responsibles, you have I don't know, a board, some people, the staff of the club that are doing really really bad things, and it seems like you can't find really a solution. You can hire Xavi, you can hire everyone, even Pep Guardiola or Carlo Ancelotti if you want, but if the club isn't stable at the moment it's the case, I'm not sure that it can be successful for them to win anything.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I couldn't agree more. Like, let's think it this way. If you are working in a company and then the head of the company is like, let's say like under investigation, or like they're losing their authority, CEO is going and then another CFO is joining, stuff like that. I mean, it would affect even the lowest ranking workers in the company as well. And I think it's the same case in football as well. The players, I mean, they see how these authorities, so-called authorities, because I don't believe that they have any authority over the club. They see how they are not very serious at all, so they lose their passion for football, and they lose their aggression as well, I think. And I'm not just saying like Ruben Amorim had no fault. Of course, manager has a fault as well, but I would say maybe between the board it's like 60% board side, 40% manager side, something like that. So it's really a tough situation for Manchester United, and I don't know how they're gonna get out of this.
You know, like to see how much of a bad board United have. So in total, for the 1 year they had Amorim at Old Trafford, they paid 35 million to have the worst manager in their recent history. They paid 25 million to get him from Sporting, and then they paid him 10 million right now to like
Exactly.
end his contract. So 35 million down the window, and you are stuck in the middle of the table, miles behind your rivals, and yeah, I
Yeah,
like the situation. I hope it can continue.
it's just to add of what you say. I read that since 10 years, United has paid 80 millions to managers to hire
Compensation.
them and
Yeah.
then to sign them. So that's a crazy statistic.
Insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jotis.
No, I just wanted to add in there something I saw today. There was an interview of Jim Ratcliffe from March last year, I think it was, and he was saying,
Uh-huh.
Ruben Amorim seems like a good guy. He will stay with the club for a long time. And this is one of the shareholders, one of the key people at United, some who has made some hard decisions in the past about cutting costs and everything.
Yeah.
So
Very
it shows
greedy
that
decisions.
yeah, I mean, of course, there's some nasty decisions there, and this is a guy who's part of the club, who's part of the vision that the club is setting up, and he thinks that like one day he thinks the guy is going to stay at the club, and another day it's not. So it's just baffling to see like what's happening there. Do they not have a long-term plan for the club? Do they not have a long-term vision? Like, do they just buy players off the market, just throw money at the market and just hope it would work? Is that their strategy? I just don't understand.
I mean, if you look at their transfers, it looks like it. They paid so much millions for players that are now shining for other clubs.
Yeah.
So
That's
And
crazy.
yeah,
also,
they
like
don't have any long-term plans.
one stupid mistake, and I think most of the Premier League clubs are doing this, is that they constantly pay huge amounts of release clause money, but they avoid paying salaries. And what I mean by this is like, I'm going to give an example from my team because I know that Victor Osimhen was linked with Manchester United during the
Uh-huh.
transfer window. So they accept to give like 80 million, 90 million, 100 million, maybe like 120, 150 million for players that are not going to contribute to the club, but just because Victor Osimhen's salary is high, they refuse to make him transfer. I think it was a huge mistake by United side. Like, to be honest, player like Victor Osimhen would have changed their side a lot, in my opinion. But
But,
obviously, it's
wo-
not a single player issue as well. So
but Woody,
I
though,
don't.
like, has any successful player came to Man United in recent history and came United and actually made a change? It's been a graveyard of
The only
good
one.
players.
Yeah,
The
you're
only
right.
one.
I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo brought a little bit of spirit when he rejoined Man United, but then Erik ten Hag happened, and rest is history.
No, in my opinion, the only player that has actually been good at United was Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Since
showed.
the Sir Alex Ferguson era, he's the only player that came to United and actually was like, oh my God, yeah. He was the only United player that you would say about, oh my God, I want this guy in my team.
That's
Apart
that's
from
true.
him,
That's true. That's
Mhm.
yeah,
true.
apart from him, nobody.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's crazy. We're going to see how it's gonna happen for United. Also read that Oliver Glasner, the coach of Crystal Palace, totally refused to join the club, and I think we can understand him.
Smart
But yeah, we're
move.
going to see. Yeah. Alex, talking a bit about Chelsea too. We thought that Chelsea had finally found some stability in recent months. And now we're still a long way from stability in that club. What do you think Chelsea will? Well, what is the situation in this club? We saw that Liam Rosselló is going to be the new coach, but the supporters are not really happy with that decision. Do you understand them?
I mean, I can understand them because the club has been like going on a good direction with Maresca, and he was sacked out of nowhere. I think it was also a case of like a fallout with the board, because otherwise, from a sporting point
Yeah.
of view, it wouldn't make sense. He wasn't far away from the objective. It's not like Chelsea were like, oh, we are pushing for the Premier League title this season. Like their objective was to finish in the Champions League places, and they are like 1 point behind the fourth spot. So it was definitely a fallout between the board and Maresca, and maybe they had this plan in mind before. There were also the rumors that Maresca could be the next Man City manager
Yeah.
in case Guardiola leaves. Maybe like something happened between Maresca and the Chelsea board. Maybe, like, Maresca was talking to somebody close to him, like, oh my God, yeah, I would love one day to go to City, if this is true or something. And then it came out and the Chelsea board
Yeah.
heard that. You never know. Like, things like this happen in football. We just don't
Yeah.
know. But behind the curtains, there are many things happening. As far as Rossinier, I don't know. Strasbourg were good with him, not amazing. They were better towards the beginning of the season. In the beginning of the season, yeah, but recently they weren't doing as good. He's a coach like for the future. We don't know. He's from the same, like, he was brought on from the team that has the same management. So we'll see what happens. I don't think I definitely don't see him as an upgrade from Maresca. In my opinion, he's a downgrade.
I just want to say Chelsea are not a serious club, man. What are they doing? They beat Barcelona 3-0. It was what it was like 4 months ago, and now
No,
they're
No, 2 months
2
ago.
months ago.
Yeah.
2
Not,
months ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
not
and,
even 2 months.
Yeah,
One
1
month
month
and a half,
probably.
probably like
and
that. Yeah.
then now they sacked their manager. It's mind blowing what's going
Yeah.
on. And I mean, Ruben Amorim, when we look back in hindsight, it makes sense. He was shit. But Enzo Maresca, he made Chelsea world champions for the next 4 years. Now I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Good point, to be honest.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Chelsea, let's talk a bit about the games that happened that weekend, and especially the big match between Man City and the Blues at the Etihad Stadium. 1-1 draw suited Arsenal down to the ground, to be honest. Therein, we felt that City could have done way better in that game, right?
Definitely. I mean, in the first half, City was not like looking that bad, to be honest. They had some positions where they could gain 2-0 lead. Especially there was one shot of Phil Foden. I remember, I think it was in second half, if I'm not mistaken. They had some opportunities, but they could have definitely played better in terms of possession. I mean, when you look at statistics, it was surprising to see that Chelsea had more big chances than Manchester City. I didn't expect that when I was like preparing before the game. But actually, Chelsea was really impressive, and I think the score is fair. Both sides didn't deserve to win. I think it was a game that was in middle ground mostly. So I think the score represents the game that was played very fairly. But Manchester City is still not in the level where they were some couple years ago. I mean, I remember when during their prime in Pep Guardiola's reign, they were playing like so much faster in possession. But right now, when they get into the opponent box, they're not as creative as they used to be. I mean, they sometimes just wait and spend time. They play slower, or even the like placements in the field are not as good as they used to be. I'm not sure if they can fix it because it's been half of the season already, and I don't think Manchester City wants to make like huge transfers to change the team. Maybe some defenders because their defense,
Yeah.
like in absolute horrible state right now. Two guys injured, Ruben Dias and Guardiol. So I don't know how it's gonna go for Man City, but this game, in overall for Chelsea Manchester City game, I think the score was fair.
Yeah, a fair score. Chelsea managed to secure a draw, as you said, and that allowed Arsenal to take 6-point lead over their rivals. You remember, guys, during our last podcast just a few days ago, there were only 2 points separating the two teams. City lost points against Sunderland and Chelsea that weekend. And Arsenal, meanwhile, racked up a string of victories, even if that was not the best victories, except the one against Aston Villa, which was really impressive, the 4-1 win. Jotis, it feels like nothing can stop the Gunners this season in the Premier League, right?
Unfortunately, it feels like it, and it looks like they might just do it. They just might do it. Aston Villa came close, but now the point gap has widened, and same for Man City. And what scares me most is they'll start comparisons like Saka better than Messi and Declan Rice better than Modric once they win the league. I'm telling you, you can't open the internet for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, I hope that day never comes, not in our lifetime.
Well, basically, Arsenal has great players, especially in defense, but also in the midfield. You mentioned Declan Rice. I think he's one of the best player in Premier League this season.
For sure.
You can mention also Gabriel in defense, which cost a goal against in their last game against Bournemouth, I think, and then scores just after. So that's players very important, but. The thing is in the attack, Saka is not really doing a great season. Victor Gyökeres isn't scoring at all. I think he scored 5 goals in Premier League that season, which is not acceptable for a team like this. But Arsenal is still winning, thanks to set pieces, but also thanks to their defenders and other players. We'll see if Arsenal can win that title. We have to move on, but finally let's talk a little bit about Liverpool, who is gradually climbing back up the table. Although Arne Slot's players have drawn their last 2 games in the Premier League, the Reds are no longer losing in the Premier League and can now count on the Florian Wirtz, who is finally a bit back in form. Alex, you're kind of a Liverpool supporter too. What are your expectations for the club in the second half of the season?
I mean, my expectations for the club are to finish in a Champions League spot and do well in this Champions League season. At least make it to the semi-finals or something, and then lose the final to Barcelona. Maybe that would be a dream Champions League season. But I'm not joking. Like, you can't. I mean, we all have to agree Liverpool have also been unlucky this season, because Harrison Reed hasn't scored a goal in his entire career, and then he put that top beans in the last minute. That's
What a
so
goal that
insane.
was.
I haven't even
Yeah,
heard
What a
his
goal.
name.
yeah, that's
For
so
real.
insane. Yeah, the
Mhm.
guy, like, he didn't even know how to celebrate. He never had that chance on the football
No.
pitch.
I mean, he took the shot to a point where no goalkeeper in the world could have saved that.
No. It's like,
Awesome.
we have a saying here. It's like he placed it with his hand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
well,
balls to take that shot when you're losing it, and it's like seconds away from by the final
Yeah,
whistle.
I mean, it was the last minute,
And-
literally. I think I was watching, I think the referee gave like +7, and it was 90 +7 when he took
Yeah.
that shot.
Literally,
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
absolutely insane. Like buzzer
exactly.
beater after buzzer beater, because Cody Gakpo's goal, everyone thought that sealed the game.
Yeah.
Turns out
Yeah.
it
We're
didn't.
making comparison to Richarlison and Cody Gakpo's goals.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So judges, Darren, do you think Liverpool, well, they're not competing for the title right now, we know that, but you remember the situation of the club 1 month or 2 months ago. Right now, they're doing way better. It's not perfect, but they're progressing. Do you think Arne Slot is able to find the solution for the club? We thought he was not going to finish the season, but right now it's a way better. Do you think the Reds will finally find the solutions to be better and to be competitive maybe next season in the Premier League?
I mean, it's a bit early to talk about next season, but for this season, I think they have the facilities to make it to at least Champions League.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
their squad is not bad. They have a really good squad, and Arne Slot, even though he's like going in a bad situation right now, we cannot call him unsuccessful because he became champions last season. So I think they can finish in the Champions League spot, but it's still not enough to call them a very, very good and very, very strong team right now. So we cannot talk about next season just yet.
Yeah. Jatis, do you think Liverpool, not in the Premier League, but maybe in the Champions League, can do something this season, or it's too late for them?
I don't know if you guys know this, but Liverpool are actually on a 9-game undefeated streak at the moment, which is mad.
Yeah.
Which is one of those facts you hear and you think that can't be true,
Yeah.
but that is true, and it's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, up to Liverpool standards, yeah, it's not looking good,
Yeah.
but they're not too far away from pulling it back and still being on track. And there are memes going around after Enzo Maresca and Ruben Amorim that Arne Slot might be next, but I don't think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think his job is in any danger. Yeah, I think they can still turn things around. At least Wood started scoring finally. Things are definitely changing for sure.
Yeah.
So that's the Christmas gift for Liverpool, Florian Wirtz. Guys, it's time to move on to our next segment, and we're going to talk about the big matches coming up. First up is England, where Arsenal will host Liverpool on a Thursday evening. I'd love to hear your prediction for that game. Remember that Liverpool is the only team to have beaten the Gunners this season with Aston Villa. That was back in August with a super free kick from Szoboszlai. We remember that amazing free kick at the last second of the game. Darren, do you think in that situation, can Liverpool be the only team to beat the Gunners twice this season, or the game is going to be hard for them?
You know what? I don't know about Liverpool winning, but I think Arsenal is not going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And here is why. So Liverpool has been pretty shit in the last couple of months, right? So they need like a spark, a flame to light everything up for the whole community, like the fans, the club, and everything. So I think big games like this are one of those spark chances, and Arne Slot knows that, the players knows that, even the board knows that, in my opinion. So this game, in my opinion, is a big chance for them to show their maximum capacity, and I think if they can somehow find a way to penetrate through that Arsenal defense, which is I think possible with the level of quality the Liverpool players have, I think they can maybe grab a point from that game and avoid Arsenal from like winning another game.
Okay, a draw for Darren. Alex?
I mean, I would have agreed with Darren, but then I said the same thing before the Man City game earlier this season, and they went on and lost 3-0. Like, they didn't stand a chance. So, yeah, I think Arsenal are going to win.
Arsenal is going to win, and yeah, you think that Liverpool has, like, let's not say no chances, but Arsenal is way ahead of Liverpool that season, right?
Now, they are better this season. There's no doubt about that. So Arsenal are more mature and they are a strong team. Like, teams wins you. It's the teams that work together that win the most trophies, and Arsenal seem to finally be ready. The process seemed to work.
Yeah, finally.
Only
Finally.
took 6 years.
Yeah, that's right. Because when you compare to the previous seasons, even if they were close to win that famous title, we remember that sometimes in December, sometimes in January, sometimes in February, they lost some games that they were not supposed to lose. And this season, they're winning those games, even if they're not playing with the best football we've ever seen with Arsenal. They're winning those games. They're scoring goals, important ones. All the players seems really concerned and in great form physically. I'm not jinxing the squad, but if Declan Rice can have something in the Champions League, maybe it's gonna be cool. But yeah, it seems like they are way more, as you said, mature. And I'm going to say that Arsenal will win that game too. I kind of agree with you, Alex. Jotis, what will be your prediction for that one?
It is a tough one. I mean, it's shit versus shit. So it's like, who do you root for? Like, I don't want to root for Liverpool, but I
Battle
kind
of
of have to.
mid-equal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of, like it would have been a perfect hate watch, I think, but yeah.
Who do
But
you support in England?
I actually want Liverpool to win because Arsenal winning
Oh.
is not good for anyone. So yeah, I hope I think Liverpool could actually get a win there, get 3 points. It is possible. Yeah, I'm going for that.
Okay, nice, interesting one. Yeah, Alex, what was your question for Jotis?
Yeah, no, I can't remember which team does Jyoti support in England. Like, actually, do you have like a team that you support in England?
I don't really have a team. Like, I like Man United.
Sunderland.
Sunderland, yeah.
I mean, Sunderland, of course, yeah. But I like Man United. But yeah.
So that explains. So you're a Real Madrid and Man United fan. Oh my god.
The perfect combo.
I think he's a
Exactly.
Ronaldo fan because both teams are the Ronaldo's teams.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that
you are
that
one
may
of
be
those
true.
people.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we're going to close that English chapter and talk about the Spanish Super Cup, which will be played tomorrow, I think, and Thursday evening. Barcelona will face Bilbao. But the game we're going to talk about is the derby between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, of course. We remember Simeone's players' 5-2 demolition of Real Madrid in La Liga a few months ago. Mbappe will also be missing from this derby. Jotis, how do you feel about that match and the upcoming Super Cup in Saudi Arabia?
You know, people are talking. We're already talking about Xabi Alonso losing his job. So
Mm-hmm.
this could be like a turning point. If we lose this game, really
Or
bad,
this could be it.
this could be it. This could actually
Yeah.
be it. So yeah, I mean, we really need to win that game. Not just for the league title race, that is still important, but also for the morale of the team, which has not been great the
Yeah.
past several months. So yeah, we need that win, and I hope we get that win.
Talking about that, we said that Mbappe will be missing. We saw that Gonzalo Garcia, the young attacker of Real Madrid, scored a superb hat trick recently. If you were Xabi Alonso, will you put Gonzalo Garcia in the starting 11 against Atletico Madrid?
I think so. What other options do we have? I mean, Vinicius has been once again booed off from the
Mm-hmm.
crowd, and he hasn't scored in 15 games, I think, except for, or I think it has been no, that's not true. He played 15 games, but he only scored twice, something like that. The numbers doesn't look good. So yeah, it's a concerning situation at the moment. So Gonzalo Garcia is going on the lineup for me for sure.
Yeah. Alex, do you think, as we said, that that game against Atletico Madrid is the turning point for Xabi Alonso that season?
I mean, what I actually think is that Alonso, like the what will matter the most is how Real Madrid are going to play. Like it also depends on how you lose. Like if they lose the game in a very bad manner, like they did in the league, of course, yeah, Alonso's job might be like over. If they are like unlucky, you never know. He may carry on. I actually want them to go through so they can get smashed in the final by Barcelona.
Yeah,
Like
right.
last year. Mhm.
Yeah, like last year. It will be another 5-2.
So
If
yeah, Darren, do you agree with that? Do you think it's gonna be a really important game for Real Madrid? Of course, it's an important game because it's Atletico Madrid, maybe a final against Barcelona or let's say Bilbao, but I think Barcelona will qualify for the final of that Super Cup.
Yeah. So I think Real Madrid is gonna advance into the final, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. I mean, it's obvious. I saw some like not journalists, but like some people, like maybe pundits or like just random people commenting on Twitter. They were saying like it's better for Mbappe to not be because Gonzalo Garcia is in form. I mean, he had a really really good game. It's yeah, I agree with that. He made a was it called super hat trick? He scored with his
Perfect
right
hat trick.
left foot and
Perfect champion.
perfect hat trick. Yeah, he scored a perfect hat trick, but he's not gonna get those spaces against Atletico Madrid. I mean, Atletico Madrid does not have a defense like that. They are more tight, and they will not allow Gonzalo Garcia that much space. So I think it's gonna be a really tough game. But I feel like Real Madrid is just gonna win barely. I just
Yeah.
feel that.
So a win for Darren. Jotis, you see them winning. I think. I suppose. Yeah. Alex, do you think too that Real Madrid
Yeah,
is going to win that game? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we can all predict maybe a Real Madrid against Barcelona final in that UEFA Super no, not yet
Spanish
in
Super
that
Cup.
Spanish Super Cup. Yeah, maybe it's going to be the case. All right, guys. Just before talking a bit about Africa Cup of Nations, which is playing right now. I wanted to just to know we're going to have time to talk about that, but the Champions League will be played not next week, but the week after. There are going to be interesting games, especially that one between Marseille and Liverpool. No, I'm just kidding. Inter Milan and Arsenal. Just to talk about Arsenal, because Arsenal is leading the Champions League with 18 points in 6 games. Do you think Arsenal can complete the 8-on-8 and win all their games to finish first and to do maybe that can be a record, like winning the 8 games in the lead phase? What do you think, guys? They're going to play against Inter away, and they're going to play after that at home against Kairat Almaty. Can Arsenal win those 8 games?
I think
I
they
think
can
they
do it.
can do it. Yeah, I mean Inter is not as strong as they were last year, not even last year, like previous years. So I think they have the chance to do it. They've already passed the hard part. I mean, they played against Bayern, right? If I'm not
Yeah, they
Yeah,
won
they
against
beat
Bayern.
Bayern.
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
already
Mhm.
yeah, they beat Bayern. I mean, they've already passed the hardest part, so I think they can do it.
Okay. Just to remind it, we're going to talk, of course, about that, but Real Madrid will host Monaco. I think City is going to play at Bodo Glimt. Galatasaray is going to host Atletico Madrid. Therein, we're going to speak about that game maybe next week because it's a very important and interesting one. And Barcelona is going to play in Slavia Prague, and PSG is going to play at Sporting. So interesting games to talk about. Before moving on to the press review, let's take a quick look back at the Africa Cup of Nations. The last 2 rounds of 16 matches are being played right now. Well, the first one is be playing right now between Algeria and Congo. To let you know, it's 0-0 at the end of the game, so it's going to be extra time and maybe penalties after that. The quarterfinals will begin on Friday. Alex, is there a team, is there a matchup that you are most looking forward to in this competition? And more importantly, which team do you think will win it this year?
I mean, it's so difficult to like name a specific team because there have always been surprises in the African Cup of Nations. I like Nigeria because they have scored in every single game in the tournament, and they have scored many goals. They won 4-0, right? I forgot who they played against. They played
Was it-
against
Against Mozambique.
Mozambique. Yeah, I mean, they are Mozambique. It's not a team that's like really used to be playing in those higher stages in the competition, but a win, it's still a win, and it was a very convincing win. I think Nigeria could go further in the competition. I don't know. I will be very curious to see what happens with Ivory Coast because they were very, very like nobody expected them to win the previous edition, and they
Yeah.
won. I'm
Yeah.
very curious to see what happens with them this year.
Yeah, well, you're right to mention that Ivory Coast 2 years ago. We remember, sorry, the situation of the team. The Africa Cup of Nations was organized in Ivory Coast. They lost their 2 first games, I think,
Yeah,
and they
they
qualify at
sacked their
the.
coach.
Yeah, they sacked their coach, who died recently. So we think of him, Jean-Louis Gasset, and then managed to win the trophy. So you're right, there are a lot of surprises in that competition. Darren, you wanted to say something about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna point out a match that I'm looking forward to. I think we talked before the podcast with you.
Mhm.
Was it Nigeria facing Ivory Coast in the semifinals if they both win their games?
Let me see. No, okay. I'm going to tell you. So the quarterfinals, we have
Yeah.
Mali against Senegal,
Okay.
and the winner is going to play against Egypt or the winner of Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. So that can be Egypt against Ivory Coast in quarterfinals. So that can be an interesting one. And then on the other side, we have Cameroon against Morocco, with the winner playing against the winner of Nigeria against Algeria or Congo that is playing tonight. So we might have Morocco against Nigeria in semifinals.
I mean, that's one game that I would very much look forward to because Morocco was before this tournament even started. Morocco were the favorites of the tournament,
Yeah.
and right now I see Nigeria also in a really good strength in terms of attacking power. I mean, they have Ademola Lookman, they have Osimhen, they have really good players. So them facing Morocco would be an insane game to watch.
Mhm. Darren, I wanted to know something because that's often the case with the players that are playing in Africa Cup of Nations because the competition is really intense and it's playing in January, which is not the best time to play that kind of competition, but that's the case. Uh, are you afraid of the form of Victor Osimhen after that competition for Galatasaray, or do you think it's gonna be fine and he's going to like get in better form really quickly? Are you afraid of that, or you're cool with that?
Like if he finishes the tournament in a healthy way without getting injured, I'm not really worried because obviously before he returns to Galatasaray, we're gonna give him some free time to rest and recover. I mean, everybody needs a holiday. But one thing I'm afraid is injuries because I've seen this in the past. In African tournaments, in Africa, in Cup of Africa, or like even the qualifiers for World Cup, there is a really physical game of football being played. So players tend to get injured sometimes, and I've seen this. Wilfried Singo was injured, and Victor Osimhen was injured in a Nigeria game. He didn't play for like 10 days, 15 days, something like that when he came back to club football. I've seen Ismail Jakobs, the left back of Galatasaray, got injured. He's playing for Senegal right now. I hope he also doesn't get injured, but injury is a big problem when you take a look at the African football because of the physicality that's being shown there. So if he does not get injured, I'm not really worried at all. So I hope he
Yeah.
can get injured,
Mhm.
please.
Yeah. Let's hope that, and also because the final of the tournament is in the 18th of January, and well, Galatasaray is playing against Atletico on the 20th of January, and then playing against Man City, right? The last game is against
Yeah,
Manchester City,
Man City is in 28th of January. So if
28th of January.
let's say Nigeria goes all the way to the final, I don't think he's gonna make it to the Atletico game. But if he doesn't get injured, he's gonna make it to the Manchester City game.
All right. Jotis, we saw also that the player which is really plays a lot and which is really is playing crazy in that competition, sorry, is Brahim Diaz, Real Madrid player. Already 4 goals with Morocco, 4 amazing goals and really important ones. Um, does it surprise you to see Brahim Diaz leading that team, or you think that he's one of the best players in Africa, and especially for Real Madrid, he can also do something? What do you think about Brahim Diaz doing such good things with Morocco?
No, I'm not surprised. He's such a great player, and he's in a team where his position is so crowded. There's lots of
Hmm.
people lining up. I mean, we all know that. So that doesn't take away from the fact that he is a world class striker, and he has shown up. Like whenever he got chances, he has shown up, and he has proved that why he's one of the best young players in the world at the moment. Yeah, so I'm not
He's not
surprised.
very young though anymore.
How old is he?
Like 26, I think, or
No,
something
no
like that.
way. I thought he was
Yeah,
24.
no, no,
Okay,
26.
not so young anymore, but yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean
26.
26. Okay. Yeah, I mean he chose to represent Morocco. He could have played for Spain, but I respect that decision. And yeah, I hope he comes back with the trophy.
When we watch the standings of the best scorers of the competition, you have Brahim Diaz, you have Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, El Kabi, Riyad Mahrez, and Mohamed Salah. So obviously the best players of the competition.
Yeah, I wanted to just add like AFCON. One thing that AFCON I like about is that sometimes you can find like hidden talents, hidden gems that no one's
Mhm.
ever heard of because Africa is a really huge mine, let's say, filled with young athletes that people somehow might have never heard of. So I think it's also good for scouting just to watch that tournament.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. They have a lot of interesting prospects, and I'm sure we're going to see some maybe new signings at the end of this transfer window. Yeah, well, we'll see. Guys, we'll finish now this week's with the press review, as we usually do, which allows us to discuss the most important or interesting current topics. Therein, today we wanted to take a bit of time to talk about a very important subject that you are really interested in, and we are too. A lot has happened in Turkey in recent months, particularly with regard to corruption, to referring, to things like that. Can you maybe summarize what is happening at the moment and how the federation, the league, and the country are responding?
So right now there's an investigation. It's still an ongoing investigation on the entire Turkish football for betting scandals. And surprisingly, some of the big players that play in one of the top clubs, some of the top clubs are found guilty because they played bet to their teams when they are playing. I mean, they didn't. It's not very crystal clear because the investigation is still ongoing, so they don't share the entire information. But so it's not clear if they played their own game when they are playing or if they played games when they were on the bench, because those are two different things. I mean, if they play something on their own and then they do that based on their betting, that's match fixing. So that's a huge thing. So a couple of players got arrested. There is one center back from Galatasaray. He's one of the young ones. I think he's still in prison right now. The captain of Fenerbahce, he's a playmaker, midfielder. He's also still in prison right now. They are both banned for 9 months from football, apart from the prison sentence. And the left back of Galatasaray, the second left back of Galatasaray, was also found guilty, but he just played one bet, so he didn't get into prison. He just got a 45 days ban. And also his ban was just removed 2 days ago, actually. So he played yesterday for the first time since his ban. There are also some referees who are under investigation, some
Yeah.
coaches, even some presidents of the clubs. And this is surprising because it's all going in the top level of Turkish football.
Mhm.
Of course, like 90% of the investigation is from the second or third division, even like fourth, fifth divisions. It's surprising to see the biggest teams and their presidents as well. So it's a huge investigation is going right now. But personally, I do believe it's necessary because there has been way too many scandals in Turkish football in the past couple of years, like referee getting punched by the president of the club,
Yeah.
a president pulling his team out of the pitch, like stuff like that. We're all familiar with. So I think Turkish football needed a cleaning like this. So I'm fully supporting the ongoing investigations, and I hope whoever done something bad, like done something illegal in football, gets the punishment they deserve.
Mhm. Well, it's interesting because that's a subject when we watch European football and the big leagues, we think that things that are not happening right now, it's the past to have some corruption problems, but sometimes it appears that not. And also the bettings. We remember, for example, Tonali
Yeah.
at AC Milan that has huge problems, but yeah, it happens sometimes. Alex, do you have examples of similar situations, maybe in Romanian footballs, or examples you have in mind about that kind of corruption or
Uh,
bettings?
yeah. So my family still has like a betting bar. So we have a bar, like my family has a bar, and we have a contract with the betting company, and people come and place bets at our bar. When I was in like back in school, so almost 10 years ago, we had players from Dinamo Bucharest, which is the second biggest team in Romania, come and play bets at our bar.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. So one day, and they played like huge amounts of money, huge amounts of money. I don't know if they played bets like on the games in which they were playing, but I can assure you they were not doing any better than like we would have done, because they bet so much money and they lost almost every time. So
My God.
like they were just clueless. So one day, the wife of one player called my mom, because she was the one like she's still the one in charge of the bar. She called her crying over the phone please, madam, don't place any bets for my husband because we ran out of money. We don't have any money to grow our child,
That's
and we
crazy.
don't have anything to put on the table. He like bets all his salary. Please don't place any bets for him.
Well,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story. I don't know why I felt I had to ask you this question, and you gave us one of the best story we ever heard
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
football. That's crazy to see that. Yeah, so players basically just came to the bar, place bets, lots of
Uh,
money, and lose
the
every time.
yeah, like not they won. They also won, but
Hmm.
most of the times they lost. But they were like they were intelligent in some way because most of the times they wouldn't come themselves to place the bets. They would send like people, friends, relatives, and they would come. But there were times in which they were the ones who came. Even the doctor was the one that placed so many bets, the doctor of the team. And I broke my leg during that period, and I had a very bad injury. And because of the relations we had with him,
Hmm.
I was doing my recovery with that team's doctor. Yeah.
Bro,
And he
That's
that's
took
crazy.
crazy stories in
Professional.
Bucharest.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
There's
that's
he took
really
me
always a
to the
story when it comes to Alex, when it comes to beers, football, and betting. There's always a story.
yeah, he took me to the team's facilities to do recovery.
wow.
Wow.
Mm.
Crazy. You know, I think it's a bit interesting for me to see this, like some of the names in the investigation as well, because not all the football players, but some of the football players in the investigation earns a lot of money. I mean, why do you even bet? Like, you are already earning millions.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
don't even
don't
need
understand
betting
it
to
either.
survive. Like, for example, there is one player that I feel bad about. You know, it's the youngster that I talked about from Galatasaray. He's the center back. I felt actually bad about him because they released the parlays that he did, and it was like he was playing $1, $2, $3, like $5 bets, and then they released his like WhatsApp messages as well, and then he was asking his friend like, "Oh, can you loan me just $3, please, bro? I need to play a bet
What?
to go for the entire month."
Wow.
So like he was playing out of like economical needs, but some players
Yeah.
they don't need to play. Like they are earning millions, they are living in very good houses. I know that, but since the investigation is still ongoing and the judgment hasn't made, it's not good to talk about it right now. But
Yeah, yeah, of
just
course.
to sum it up for our listeners, this is a huge scandal going on in Turkey,
Mhm.
and there's a cleansing operation going on right now, and I think it's necessary because there has been way too many corruptions in Turkish football. So I hope in the future it's gonna change for good.
Yeah, of course. You'll let you know about you let us know. Sorry about the process of that investigation. The only bad thing is that the game between Turkey and Romania is in March is in Istanbul because all the players will come to your bar, Alex, to place bets before the before the games. Um, so yeah, well, really interesting situation. Guys, another topic we should talk today is Bayern Munich young attacking midfielder
Yeah,
Leonard Carl, who recently declared his love for Real Madrid. Alex has a huge after Jotis, I let you the word, but I want Alex. Does this kind of media statement shock you, or you think that's all right? You can say your love to anyone, any club.
you know, if I were a die-hard Bayer fan, I would like hate on him. But
Yeah.
you know, like, I think like these like very new generation players like Carl is born in 2008. Like that's so insane.
Yeah.
Like these new players, I mean, I'm talking about him, Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is 1 year older. They are like not, they don't seem to bother so much about media and things like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it was an answer like, oh yeah, of course, every like half of the players growing up playing football dream of playing for Real Madrid. Like he just didn't lie. He like spoke the truth, and people get mad at him for speaking the truth. He didn't say like, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. One day I want to play for Real Madrid." It could be like even in 15 years time because he's like only 17. Mbappe said that also when he was at Monaco, and nobody was mad at him for saying that because he was playing for Monaco. And then he stayed his whole career at PSG, and all the people knew that he wants to play for Real Madrid. And then all of a sudden, when a player gets transferred to the team, he says that it has always been my dream to play for this club. And then all the people say, "Oh yeah, of course you say that because you are
Yeah.
here."
Mhm.
No, it was my dream, and I can say it whenever I want. I would, I wouldn't judge Carr for saying that. We are judging on people and players being too media trained and so robotic. Don't showing their real attitude. He just did that. So yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
just a thing.
I mean,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
what you said, from my point of view, what you said kind of makes it worse because it shows that like he doesn't have respect for his club. I mean, I get that he has dreams. I mean, any player in the world, even us, would have dreamed to play for Real Madrid. I have no objection to that. But you are 17 years old, and I think this is the first professional year he has in Bayern Munich, if I'm
Yeah,
not.
it is. It is.
So like you shouldn't say that in the middle of your first professional season. I mean, it's obvious. Come on, like I know that he's just a kid with like he's 17 years old, but people need to direct him and people need to like give advice to him because he's so young and he can make mistakes. And I'm sure right now he regrets
That's right.
that. And also, if I'm not mistaken, in that video he says something like, "This is just between us." And bro, it's not just between you. There are cameras
Yeah,
recording.
that was the funniest thing.
And that was the funniest thing. It's not just you. There were huge cameras recording you, and you're all over the internet right now. So yeah, you shouldn't have said that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jatis, do you consider Carl as a Real Madrid player right now?
Papa Perez has already sent in the contract, so it's being signed as we speak. Yeah, you can't say that anywhere. But what I was saying is, I mean, like Derin said, I don't blame the guy because Alex said he's 17-year old. Like, what does he know? Like, But I would actually point the finger at the people around him who should have made sure that something like this doesn't see the light of the day. Even if he has said it, there's plenty of ways to get information off the internet or just make sure it doesn't go on the internet. So I would blame those people rather than the kid because he's literally a kid. He's born in 2008. Alex, who's a kid, he's born in 2003,
Nah, 2002.
2002. So he's younger. So which is mad. So yeah, I don't think they don't need to make a much fuss about it, but yeah, it is a bit disrespectful to the club he's gonna be at.
Yeah, well, to be honest, yeah, I can understand what you're saying because, of course, a player that says that he wants to play for Real Madrid, and when you're playing in Bayern Munich, it's not like he's playing in Georgia or I don't know where, in a small. No, but to be honest, in a small club, he's playing in a big club. But
Yeah.
I like players that are being honest. I like players that are telling their dreams. Maybe in 10 years, he's going to say, I said something wrong because Bayern Munich is my club and I want to play with them. And I think it also shows that he has ambition. To be honest, I prefer a player that says that he wants to play for Real Madrid than the players that left their European club to go to Saudi Arabia at 24 or 25 years old. So I can understand what you said. But he's 17 years old. He shows that he has ambition. He shows that he wants to be one of the best in the world because he is playing with Bayern Munich and he want to play with Real Madrid. So that was funny to see that. But I think, except from Bayern Munich's fans, because they can say that it's a bit disrespectful. It's a funny thing, and it's going to be interesting to see maybe a Bayern Munich and Real Madrid in the Champions League that season to see for which team he's going to play. Darren, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, just like very quickly, since we all did the masters in sports communication and journalism. So during the open media day before the Champions League final, I was the translator of Arda Güler, and this was one of the few things where our superior warned me. He said that if anyone like tries to ask him some questions like, "Oh, do you want to move to this club? Do you want to play outside Spain?" you should intervene. So when I watched this video, I actually felt how important that sentence was because stuff like this, like even if he did it unintentionally, even if he was like showing full respect to Bayern Munich and then keeping his Real Madrid dream on one part of his head, this was still damaging to his career and to his reputation. So kids like this, especially the youngsters, should be warned by communication advisors all the time about how they speak, how they show themselves to media. Because as Alex stated, we know that Gen Z, especially the younger part of Gen Z, does not care about media.
Yeah. yeah, basically they really don't care. But yeah, that was the last info we wanted to talk a bit about, because that was kind of funny to see that it's between you and me and the two of us, and then all the world is talking about that today. Guys, I think we've now come to the end of this podcast. Thank you very much all for listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube. Don't forget once again to follow us on social media, on Instagram, on X. It's Fallout One Record. You already know. We'll be there, of course, next week, same time. Jotis, Darren, Alex, thank you very much, guys, and
Thank
see
you.
you next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. See
Bye
you
bye.
guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.